Hello, assalamu alaikum. Ji ayanu, pakhair raghale, ni hao, shuna shumme, washmale, ohaya gazaimis, guten morgen, hi hugs and hellos, and a very good khush amadi to everybody who's out there. My name is Shazad Khan, and with me I have Maha Makhdoom. Hello Maha, how are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too. Hello everyone, assalamu alaikum. I'm very good today. We've had a really busy, interesting week, and I'm excited about the show today.
Exactly, that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. During this week, we have picked up on education and other different issues, and we made sure that we could do justice to the topic as well. But today, we are certainly talking about summer vacations, and because summer vacations have started in a few schools and in other schools, obviously, they'll be there in a week or two as well. So what we are going to do is that we're going to discuss what to do with your kids in summer vacations.
Exactly, we're going to be talking about what kind of skills they need to learn, what kind of activities can they do, and what can the parents do to actually engage and communicate with their children. And we have now, we've got some wonderful guests in the studio that we've been joined by to talk about this, because it's a very important thing. So to discuss all of this, we've been joined by Miss Shamina Kamal. She is the network head at City School. She's also an educationist. Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Besides Miss Shamina Kamal, we've been joined by Miss Mariam. She is the headmistress at City School. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
So headmistress is usually the one who kids are scared of quite a lot of times.
And then besides Miss Mariam, we've been joined by Miss Mesuna Vakar. She is the regional examination controller at the same school. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today.
So let's get started with the conversation. Summer vacations, that's what we are picking up on today.
I feel like Shazad's very excited because he's like, I have my daughter, and now I'm going to ask what we're going to do with her in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun last night when she was jumping all around the bed. Otherwise, she had to go to the bed by 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. She was all over the place last night.
Cute.
So by the end of the night, I was like, Putra, you need to sleep now, or otherwise I have to go to another room. So yeah, summer vacations, how do you think all those parents who are out there, they can utilize it for the betterment of their kids?
As Maha did say, it's quality time. This time, it's an opportunity of a lifetime, and majority of the time when the children come home in the afternoon, they're quite tired, exhausted, and they want to go to sleep or they want to watch TV. Now, it's very difficult for parents that are working to give that time. It's very difficult to take out time to play and learn, sort of like develop activities with them where you can actually come to that level. Now, in the summer, obviously, if you're working parents, you want your child to go somewhere as well. You've got to, or you have to leave them with the servants or at a creche or find a summer school or something that will not be of that level. What I say for people that are not working, that are trying to keep a similar routine of the child going to bed, not like 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning, right?
I think that's for me.
You're already going home.
The problem is what we end up doing is we turn the clock 360 degrees basically, and when the child comes back, he's sort of like lost. And the first initial weeks in August or September, it takes the headmistresses, the teachers, anyone within the school, it takes them a few weeks to get them back settled. So what I do suggest is that we use this time, storytelling, going out on educational excursions with them. Like whenever you do go out and you're going to a mall, talk about, oh look, this is nice, why it's nice, what do you think? Make the children actually explain things. A lot of talk time, and I do feel that, what we've gotten away from is with technology and with this thing, that we've gotten away from the normal talking that you have,
communication, which used to take place,
the basic simple sentences and questioning and those kind of things that we try and put our children with these gadgets, and we don't spend that time with them.
Okay, that's interesting because I mean, before it was a generation thing, it was an era thing that parents didn't interact or communicate with their kids. There was that barrier. Now it's the phones that are getting in the way. But let's ask Miss Mariam. As a headmistress, how do you equip your parents before the summer vacations, especially because you're dealing with the younger kids?
Okay, on monthly basis, we have very strong interaction with our parents by arranging different meetings, by arranging different workshops, and usually we try to provide such forums to our parents where we can educate them about different things, how things are taking place inside the school and what they can do for their kids at their home. And
For example?
for example, the workshops that if in school we are, conducting a reading session.
All right.
So definitely parents, they are not trained to handle like an educationist. And so we guide them how they can carry out such sessions at home by using, their homemade materials.
Yeah.
Side by side, for summer vacations especially, at F8, we conducted different workshops and sessions for mothers, how to keep their students busy during the vacations, and how they can, as one of you said, that quality time, it's all about that. If the parent, he's going to invest, or a mother going to invest, around, let's say, half an hour, and if it's quality time, so that is enough and it can meet the objective. Here I'm also going to suggest that if the parents are going to focus on skill development of the students, it's going to be really helpful.
We'll
for the
definitely come back
students.
to the skill development aspect, but I want to stay with the quality aspect. So now, Ms. Masuna, I'll move on to you. Now, since we're talking about quality, I think we need to talk about the quality and the standards of education as well, because by the end of the day, and since it's summer vacation, so the type of module or the type of process the students go through, it's like they have to appear in their final examinations before their summer vacations, and then they move on. So now we over here in Pakistan think that, a kid who scores 100 out of 100 is a bright kid and a smart kid and whatnot. And since you are the one who's an expert about examinations and assessment, so how do you think that parents can even assess that the quality of education which their kids are getting is fair enough?
I'll take on your word that it's a grade-oriented society that we are living in.
Yeah.
We are
Yes,
much
absolutely.
concerned about how much percentage the child has scored,
Yeah.
which is totally misleading, because research even has proved that students who do fairly well in their exams and the grades normally don't do very well in the practical life once they actually land into the practical
I
world.
think that's a myth too.
No, it's true.
I was
I'll
a
tell you
brilliant
why.
student in my university, got scholarships.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
they're not talking about you. It's not about you, Shazad.
Oh, exactly. We're talking about the general,
decided
a
it's going to
general
be light
child,
and
the
funny.
quality of education. Talking about the skills, I'll just pick it up from Shamina's words that summers, yes, exactly, we do need to communicate. As a family, we need to move on and maybe move towards more greater, stronger binding between the family members. But still, I'll feel that summer vacation is too long a time to be just spent at home. It should be utilized positively, constructively.
Absolutely.
And for that, it's very good if the students are enrolled in any summer schools
Okay.
or summer camps.
Okay.
There are multiple advantages of that, basically.
What I was trying to ask over here was, how can parents be sure of the standard of education their kids are getting from the school?
Just taking a very small example of going in the mall or just driving in the car and the child is able to read the billboard, a very young child, that shows that this reading skill has been developed at school. And even while you are reading the newspaper, again, a very lost habit and a skill, that's the reading skill. It's almost extinct, it is becoming extinct. So we need to cultivate it at home.
Okay.
Leave the books around in the living room. Your spick and span living room is going to give a much nicer look if the books are all around, the coloring books.
Like our newspapers
magazines.
here.
Exactly like this. This shows.
There's
I
one
have a
last
question,
thing.
Shazad.
Yeah, one last thing. And that is that, for a kid who's 2.5 years old or 3 years old, don't you think that it is very unfair on their behalf because of the fact that, teachers are telling them, okay, this is liquid, this is solid. And, since I go through this every day almost. So my daughter comes back home, picks up a glass of water, says, Abba, it's solid. I'm like, okay, if that's the,
glass
type
is
of...
solid though.
No.
glass is solid,
She was obviously
yes.
talking about the water. So I was like, no, beta, it's liquid inside the glass. She was like, no, my teacher said it's solid. So now, when we want to rewire, or probably that might be the other way around, the way teacher...
Unlearning certain
So now how
things
do we do it?
Okay, we'll start with
It gets difficult.
Ms. Shameen, and then
Then she's going to the wrong school. Sorry.
Oh my God, listen to that, teachers.
yeah, we had another school
Yeah.
the other day. Now we've got another school being represented. It's
Yeah,
great.
no, I'm only joking.
No.
Basically, in our school system, the children actually learn with the solids and liquids, let's take this up. But our children will pour the water, and the children will feel that water, and they'll find out that that's a liquid. We'll give them liquid soap, and we'll give them a solid soap, where they actually get the, with real objects, they get the learning, and they enhance their learning through that. Obviously, your child or any child, it's the first time the child has learnt it, so she can get a little bit confused. It's not something that she's been taught wrong.
Do you think somebody who's
This
too young
typical
needs to learn?
parent.
Yeah,
Do
it's
you-
not
do you-
that she's been taught wrong, but I mean, these are little children. When that topic is enhanced or reinforced, the child will definitely pick it up that this was this liquid and this was the
Okay.
solid.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, okay.
Can I add up something?
Please.
Sure.
No, you're not allowed.
Now, you know, basically, early years, it's all about play and fun.
Okay.
So children, 2+ till 6 years old, in our schools, we try to provide hands-on learning experience to them.
great.
Through investigation, through research, the child, you know, he reaches the end point. And that is the time when, you know, the learning and side-by-side informal assessment, it's taking place side by side. You were talking about examinations. So at our level, we go for informal assessments, we go for observation on daily basis, because it's the fastest growing time in the life of the child.
Yeah.
Okay.
Day to day, he's, you know, coming up with new things, with new ideas. So it's not about the annual examination, but it's about his own development,
Okay.
how he's developing.
Okay, great. Now, talking about all of this, and I'm glad you gave the example of the glass and your child. Now, we're on like you mentioned, Ms. Una, we're in a grade, oriented system. Now, how are we developing the critical thinking? How important is it to start developing the critical thinking and the analysis at such an age? Because, I mean, she's a kid, she's now learning, you know, it's a glass. How is she going to, at what point should we start that? Because surely that's what examinations do. It's about analyzing and then putting it into your own words and explaining it. But right now we're memorizing everything. That's why they don't perform well in practical world. So what's happening in the primary level?
Okay, as early as we can. Your question was that at what level we should start developing it. Because, as I said, that scientifically it's proved that till the age of 7, it's the fastest growing time for any child's brain. And this is the time when a child can learn around 5 to 7 languages even. So why not we can develop creativity? It's all about what the parents and school, they are doing for it.
Yeah.
It's the process which is important.
Okay.
And there comes the role of, you know, the adult, the facilitator. Usually what we do, that instead of guiding the child or facilitating, we just take over that role.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have to stop ourselves from doing that.
Yeah, refrain
and
from that.
by, you know, just asking them questions, that is going to help them to just move towards developing the creative process.
Okay, Ms. Una, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to it is about the class. Okay, a child maybe for the first time didn't get the concept right. Then at home, we are talking about the summer break that is just there. Even the mother, while she's busy in the kitchen, she can just have the children all around her. And, you know, they can just observe of what the solids and the liquids are. Critical thinking as early as possible.
As early as possible.
As
Yeah,
early as
I mean, it's a process that takes place as soon as you're born. You know, when the child is born, you with little things.
I think it's
your own
critical
home.
for the parents to
No,
look after.
I mean, the children actually pick. That is the age group where the children start deciding what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's about the child thinking and giving him the opportunity to learn. That is important. Like Mesuna said about the kitchen, I'd just like to say accounting activity. I always say that the parents always say that my child doesn't understand, you know, how many 5 is. So I would say whenever you're cooking or whenever you're doing something in the kitchen, just ask him to take out 4 spoons, 5 spoons, 5 potatoes. Let's cook. How many potatoes do you want to cook?
Yeah, and they're all on the floor then. So
So,
you
I
have to watch
mean-
them again, but that's a good example.
Yeah. So I mean, those are the kind of things that you can work on within their own home. If the father's reading a newspaper, I mean, I believe that it's very important that the father's role is very important.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was just thinking we always say the mother,
why did
the
you-
mother, the
Why
Why
mother.
did you emphasize on it while looking at me?
Because you are the father. How you're talking about being a father, Shazad.
We're just helping you so that you can have a good summer.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that's great. But at this point of time, ladies and gentlemen, what we need to do is we need to go for a short break.
Yes.
Please don't go anywhere since we were talking about summer vacations, what to do with our kids, and to get some free time as well. All right, good
Stay
morning.
tuned.
ancient city of Taxila is the heart of stonework in Pakistan. This art, which has been preserved and practiced for centuries, can be seen on many major landmarks of the country. Notably, the Pietra Dura work in the Lahore Fort's Sheesh Mahal. These stone products take days to complete and require immense precision and skill from the craftsman. The final products are perfect for souvenirs, gifts and decoration pieces, each depicting the richness of Pakistani culture at its best. Camel skin and ivory craft are trademarks of Multan's handicraft repertoire. Camel skin is cleaned, dried and mounted onto molds which can be of any shape desired. Multicolored lacquer painting is then used to ornament the molds, which in the end bear a Mughal or Persian feel. Ivory is crafted into pens, chess sets, jewelry and other accessories such as keychains by the expert craftsman. Such detailed work, while being extravagant, is indeed a feat to achieve, and craftsmen of Multan produce beauty with their work which is worthy of global admiration. The enchanting arts and
Welcome back, everyone. And before the break, we're talking about summer vacations, but for the younger kids who are in elementary school and Montessori and everything. And we're talking about the importance of developing skills, how you can keep them busy, what kind of communication, and how to actually communicate.
And it brings a smile on my face as well, that, thinking about summer vacations, and it made me a bit nostalgic as well, because when we used to get our summer vacations, we just wanted to go and live at our grandfather's place or probably at our papa's place. Well, I think my mother didn't like the idea then, but it's perfectly all right.
No, so we used to come and visit Pakistan quite regularly, so we were always very active.
Yeah.
But now we're going to talk about skill development, as Shahzad mentioned. We're going to talk about summer camp and the importance of communication and reinforcing these. So Shahzad's going to ask the first
skill development, because Mariam was saying it and we said that we were going to do it in the later half of the show. So Mariam, go ahead. What type of skills do you think these young kids can develop? Well, young
they
kids
need to develop.
Okay, there are 4 major skills on which we work: listening, speaking, reading, and writing.
And eating.
Yeah, definitely, that is of foremost important. But the thing is this: that first of all, definitely the parents, they have to go for developing their communication skills, and with that their listening will automatically get stronger. But unfortunately nowadays the families, they just handed over gadgets in the hands of the little ones, and there's very less communication time available with the parents, whether they are working or even the mothers who are housewives. They are unable to give that much time to their children, and they just try to provide that to just escape from their own responsibility in a way, unfortunately.
Okay.
So there should be quality talk time with the children during the summer vacations.
Okay, sorry, that's 2 skills, and we're going to focus on the communication in a moment. But what are the other 2 skills that need to be developed with the kids? You said there's 4 areas. So speaking,
listening,
reading and writing.
Reading and writing.
Of course. We clearly haven't developed those skills.
So the first 2 are speaking and listening, and then reading and writing, right?
Yeah, great.
Okay, so that's how it works. I thought these were just some basic skills which just comes out of nowhere, because it's just
But they're specific.
in you.
Side by side, there are other skills also. The daily life routines, how to tie up laces, how to press your clothes.
Yeah.
So these are also of foremost importance, because these help the child when in future years also, when he goes abroad or somewhere for higher studies. So if these skills are developed at earlier stages, so it's going to be beneficial for any human being.
Okay, and all the skills you've
Then you
mentioned.
can tie somebody else's laces as well. If they do not know how to tie them up.
And so basically all these skills that you've mentioned, that comes with the quality time that we set in our public
Yeah,
service
exactly.
lessons, which is the common thread, which theme running throughout the show, I've noticed. So now, let's talk about some of...
Yeah, there's
Wait.
one more thing which I
Okay.
wanted to talk about.
Yeah, you wanted to talk about
very
something before I
sorry. I'm
change
very
it.
sorry, but that is well, since I'm a father as well, and you know,
All right.
she emphasized as well that you don't have to be a good father. Okay, now what I wanted to talk about was that what happens is that every other day when you go to a parent-teacher meeting, when you see the headmistress, they tell you that you need to sit down and communicate with your kids.
But what
Now what happens with me is whenever I sit down and I'm trying to say, okay, this is a newspaper and this is what we are going to do, and eventually what happens is that the newspaper rips apart. And I was like, Shabano, this is not what I was trying to tell you, and then it goes at the back as well. So I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to communicate then?
Okay. On this,
You didn't
right,
need to do
that's-
that.
That's
that was-
developing a good habit as well. That's important as well. The children, that newspaper, I'll tell you, for me, it will be
Newspaper
maybe-
was just an example.
No, I'll tell you. If, for example, the child doesn't like that newspaper, you've got to look into the depth of it. Why? Maybe you're so engrossed in reading a newspaper in the morning and you've not given her that time.
Okay.
Okay? You've got to look out of the box. You have to think about why is it that she might have done that with the newspaper. If you both sat down and said, oh, Shebano, look at this picture. Look what it says. Come on, you
Eye
can read the
contact,
news. No,
interaction.
you can read this newspaper with me as well. So she will develop an interest in reading. She will also develop an interest that my father and me are doing something. The bonding time is getting closer. You might be reading your own thingy and she might just say, Dad, look at this. Dad, look at that. And you think, oh, yeah, look at it. Develop an interest with the child. That is very important because the child's feelings are very, very important.
Yeah.
If you're not showing that you actually care and you're actually paying attention to them, they lack that attention, that my father's not. And as they get older, there are kids that make up stories that, this happened and that happened, there was an accident and this happened, because they haven't got the attention, and they're going to try and gain that attention from somewhere else.
That's another thing.
Just one more thing. I went into Miriam's office the other day, and she had like 4 or 5 kids.
Without knocking?
Without, of course.
She's a
It's an
network
open door
head.
policy.
She's a network head. She can do what she wants.
Yeah, it's an open door policy. We have an open door policy all
Very
the
nice.
time. Our offices are open.
Great.
And she's sitting there, and the children are actually talking about, my daddy said this, and my mummy said this, and she's saying yes, and what happened, because the kids actually need that attention. They're attention seekers. They were from grade 2 or 3, I think it was.
So let's just highlight that those kids I was saying that are not getting the adequate attention at home or that interaction.
It could be. They might be, and most probably it is. And I
And
think
sometimes out of
Mariam would be-
excitement, they want to share that, okay, yesterday somebody visited us, and they just try to
Want to
make up
share it,
stories.
yeah.
And
Okay.
the other times, it's only to get, that interaction with the headmistress. So all the time, it's not this that the children are not getting importance at home.
Sometimes they're making the headmistress happy as well. All right. Okay, but there's one more
nice.
thing which I think is very important, because when I was going through this phase of my life where my kid was throwing everything apart or tearing it apart, so what happened?
I feel like she learned it
Yeah,
from you.
I started, searching for solutions on the internet. Now there was this very interesting video which I saw, and the guy said it made sense. Now what he said was that, for example, if your complaint is that your kid just throws away things. For example, if he or she is sitting on the table, there's a spoon in your right hand and then there's a fork in the left hand, and the spoon drops. And you tell your daughter, Shabano, don't do this. What happens is that kids, they start judging. There is a parameter of their judgment, what will make my dad angry or my mother angry.
Yeah.
So eventually what he or she will do is they might drop the second one as well, because they want to see whether he's going to get more angry or he's not going to get angry at all. So that's how kids of younger age, what they do is they want to know or understand the feeling which they're going to experience from
Yeah.
the parents' end. I think that's
I
what it
think
is.
it's not the anger, it's the attention that they are
Attention.
seeking. They would like to see what kind of reaction
Yes.
the adult in their life is going to come
Because
up
it's
with.
critical thinking, right? So they want to know, they want to be sure about the next time I'm going to do
So
it,
if we
what's
go back
going to
the
happen.
first question, that as early as possible the critical thinking is there. It
Exactly.
just needs to be polished and brought out. And as adults, no matter whether we are the father, the mother, or it's the adult in the life of the child who has to nurture it. Just to
Absolutely.
bring it out.
Okay,
Absolutely. And you know, the thing is, I
yeah.
really feel like you need to start making videos of this because she sounds like such an interesting character.
No, I
love it.
do have quite a lot of videos where
Awesome.
we sing songs together.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Coming back,
Yes.
coming back to that point where your child was throwing the newspaper, I would just like to add up that when you want to build up any conversation, it should be related to the interest of the child.
Okay.
If your child is interested in cartoons or maybe in any book, so you have
Spider-Man
to,
all the time.
yeah, so you have to, just get her into the talk, which is of her interest, and then she's going to speak to you, or she'll just develop that conversation, and afterwards, yes, you can gradually bring her towards what you want to do.
Okay,
or
that you know,
to
this
as
is
the
what you
routine.
need to do.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. And now, you know, we're highlighting all of these things. These are really important because the summer holidays are coming up.
Yeah.
And we're talking about keeping a structure. Now, let's just highlight what is the negative aspect of not, you know, adopting or applying a structure or all of these things to your kids? What is it? And I'll give us some ideas of a long-term kind of damage.
Okay, idle minds, lazy.
Idle mind is the devil's playground.
Yeah.
Workshop.
So exactly, you've just summed it up basically. That is something, and at a later stage, the kids don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
They're reluctant to do anything. They don't want to actually get involved in anything. You want to get them. You want. Sorry.
No, I'm talking to you. No.
You want them to actually take part in different, let's say, debates and those kind of things. They're least bothered because at an early stage, nobody's told them that these things are important, you know. And at our, in summer, we do offer in some schools these debating competitions and other activities for our children to actually attend. Masuna?
Yes.
Would you like to?
Nowadays, the term that is being used is the summer brain drain.
Yeah.
That's what I think
What's a
sums
summer
it up.
brain?
brain? What's a summer brain drain?
Summer brain drain is that if the child is just kept idle, then that's the brain is being drained.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
right.
So he or
So
she's
I
going
think
to forget
this term sums it up all. So we have to avoid this summer brain drain and keep the child occupied. And of course, it's the parents have a limitation of the kind of activities they can come up. So that's where the schools play a positive and an active role with coming up with summer schools or summer camp. Summer camp is for mostly the seniors, and summer school is for the primary
Okay,
level.
one last thing. which
I had a
want-
question as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and it's when you were talking, and it's completely escaped, and it was so important.
Okay, one last thing which I want to ask, and since you have mentioned about summer brain drain, so how do you think parents, while their kids are at home and you know they're enjoying summer vacations, they can assess their kids whether the brain drain is taking place or not?
I think the child's overall physical posture even tells you what the child is up to. If they are just hooked on, and you just switch on the TV, on the cartoons, or give them the tab or anything, and that's it. That's automatically that leads to the brain drain. Their skills that we were talking about, there are multiple skills that are developed, even the life skills, that essential 21st century skills we talk about, keep on talking about. So these skills need to be developed and reinforced, developed at the school, and then they are being reinforced.
Perfect. Actually, and I do have a final question. Sorry, I do need to ask this. Now, the importance of, even as a young kid, the importance of getting them to work during the summer. What do you think about that?
Not work, but play and learn.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
All right, so that's what it
activities
is.
involved so that the children actually enjoy and they want to learn.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show and having a wonderful conversation. And I'm sure the parents have got a lot from this. Thank you.
And time now to move on towards our
Yes.
amazing facts. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we have picked up on jellyfish.
Yes, we have. So let's.
So let's take a look at the fun facts. Okay, so mainly seen in the Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, and Pacific Ocean, seen close to shore, harbors, and estuaries, tend to live in brackish waters, mixed or fresh in salt water, made up of 95% water.
Okay, and jellyfish have no brains.
And it has a mouth on the bottom of the bell.
What's the bottom of the bell?
Well,
The bell.
fish
Okay,
knows,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
Some is as big as a penny, some are super big. Jellyfish have no brains.
Okay, wait.
Well, you said it.
Yeah, and a group of jellyfish is called a smack. That's amazing.
And there are about 200 known species of jellyfish that inhabit our oceans.
And some are bigger than humans, while others are as small as pinheads. And when I went sailing in January, there was so many jellyfish everywhere. It was-
And jellyfish can be dangerous too as well. People in other countries eat jellyfish.
Okay, and yeah, they, like I said, they don't have brain, but they have eyes.
All right, so that's what it
Something.
is, ladies and gentlemen, and we hope that you have kind of learned whatever we were trying to discuss and share.
No,
with all
Land, you
our
took
amazing
something
viewers.
from it.
Okay, you know.
We're not preachers.
Okay, Maha. Thank you very much for correcting me. That's great. But ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to write to us on our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of,
Well, this morning.
on Twitter,
Well, this morning without a G.
on Daily Motion and YouTube.
Well, this morning.
And this fabulous repeat is going to be at
11:05 p.m. in the evening.
till the next time. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning.
Thank you very much.